ghostly tales, yet mirrors of human life. Hey everyone! Welcome to Encountering Chinese, Ghostly Tales from Zhai. Today, I'm going to tell you a story called Xiao. In the city of Linzi, Shandong province, there was a man named Xiao who lived in the eastern part of the city in a village called Mafang. Xiao was not very skilled in academics and worked as a minor official. One day, Xiao happened to visit his father-in-law's house. On the way, he passed by the tombs of the Yu family. In the evening, after returning from his visit and being somewhat drunk, he passed by the place again and found that the original graveyard had transformed into a magnificent and grand building. An old man was sitting in front of the gate. Feeling thirsty, Xiao made a bow to the old man and requested some water. The old man stood up, invited him inside, and led him to the living room, where he was served water. After Xiao had finished drinking, the old man said, "It's getting dark, and the roads are not safe. Why don't you stay here for the night and leave tomorrow morning?" Xiao, feeling quite tired, agreed without much thought. The old man then asked his family to prepare food and drinks to entertain the guest. He said to Xiao, "I have something to say, and I hope you won't think me rude. My family has always been upright and noble. I have a daughter who is not yet engaged, and I intend to marry her to you. I hope you won't refuse." Xiao was a bit uneasy and didn't know how to respond. To his surprise, the old man immediately sent word to relatives and friends and instructed his daughter to dress up. Soon after, 4 or 5 scholars dressed in traditional attire arrived at the house, and shortly thereafter, the old man's daughter appeared. She was adorned splendidly and was exceptionally beautiful. The guests and the host took their places, and everyone drank and conversed. Seeing the old man's daughter, Xiao was so mesmerized by her beauty that he only wished to go to bed quickly. After a few rounds of drinking, Xiao excused himself, citing his exhaustion, and firmly declined any more drinks. The old man then sent a maid to guide the newlyweds to the bridal chamber. Xiao asked the old man's daughter about her family's surname, and she replied, "My name is Xiao, and I am the 7th in my family." Xiao then inquired about her family background in detail. She responded, "Even if my background is humble, it shouldn't be considered beneath you, a mere minor official. Why do you keep asking so many questions?" At this point, Xiao was completely captivated by the lady's beauty and affectionately engaged with her, no longer doubting anything. The lady told Xiao, "This place is not suitable for us to stay long. I know your wife is particularly kind and gentle, and she might not obstruct our affair. You should clean a room in your house, and I will come to your home soon." Xiao agreed and, placing his arm around her, fell asleep within moments. When Xiao woke up, he found that his embrace was empty. The sun was already bright, and he was lying on a thick bed of millet stalks. Seeing this, Xiao was both shocked and frightened. He went home and recounted the events to his wife. She thought Xu Jichang was joking and playfully cleaned out a room, set up a bed, and then closed the door, saying, "Tonight, the bride will come." After saying this, they both laughed heartily. At night, his wife humorously dragged Xu Jichang to the room and told him, "Let me see if the bride is in the room." When they entered, they found Xiao, who was already beautifully dressed and sitting on the bed. Xiao greeted them with a bow and a respectful manner. Xu Jichang and his wife were astonished, but Xiao, covering her mouth with a smile, bent over in greeting. Xu Jichang's wife prepared food and drinks to celebrate. The next morning, Xiao got up and worked without any instructions from Xu Jichang's wife. One day, Xiao said to Xu Jichang, "My sisters and aunts want to visit our home." Xu Jichang was concerned and worried about how to host so many guests on short notice. Xiao replied, "They know we are not wealthy and will bring their own food and supplies. They just need the sister to do a little bit of work." Xu Jichang told his wife about this, and she agreed readily. The next morning after breakfast, someone indeed arrived with wine and meat, but left after dropping off the items. Xu Jichang's wife then took on the role of cook. In the afternoon, around 4 o'clock, 6 or 7 women arrived, the oldest of whom was around 40. They gathered, chatting and drinking, filling the room with lively conversation and laughter. Xu Jichang's wife did not enter the room but peeked through the window. She saw that Xu Jichang was sitting face to face with Xiao, while the other guests were completely invisible to her. When the Big Dipper was hanging in the corner of the room, the sounds of laughter and chatter from inside faded away. When Xiao had not yet returned from seeing off the guests, Xu Jichang's wife entered the room and saw that the plates and cups on the table were all empty. She laughed and said, "It seems the guests were so hungry that they cleaned up the food as if they were dogs licking a chopping board." Shortly after, Xiao returned, expressing her gratitude to Xu's wife for her efforts that day. She then busily washed the dishes herself and urged Xu's wife to rest. Xu's wife replied, "Having guests come to our home and making them bring their own food is quite laughable. You should invite them again for another gathering." A few days later, Xu Jichang, following his wife's suggestion, had Xiao invite the guests again. When the guests arrived, they ate and drank to their heart's content, but at the end, they left 4 dishes untouched. Xu Jichang inquired about the reason, and the guests laughed, saying, "That day, your wife said we ate too much, so today we left some for the cook." Among the guests was a young woman, about 18 or 19 years old, dressed in white clothes and shoes. It was said that she had recently lost her husband, and Xiao referred to her as Sixth Sister. Sixth Sister was charming and skilled at making jokes. As she became more familiar with Xu Jichang, she often teased him with witty remarks. During a drinking game, Xu Jichang acted as the judge and prohibited any laughter. Consequently, Sixth Sister repeatedly broke the rules and was penalized with more than 10 cups of wine. Her cheeks flushed red, and she became the first to get drunk. Weak and unable to hold her liquor, she soon left the table and fled. Xu Xu Jichang lit a candle to search for her and found her sleeping soundly in a dimly lit canopy bed. Xu Jichang approached and kissed her, but she seemed unresponsive. He then reached into her trousers. Fueled by alcohol, Xu Jichang felt emboldened and was about to become intimate with Sixth Sister when he heard someone calling for him from the banquet. He hurriedly adjusted her clothes and noticed a silk scarf in her sleeve, which he secretly took. At midnight, as everyone was preparing to leave, Sixth Sister had not yet woken up. Xiao Qi came into the room to wake her. Sixth Sister yawned, got up, adjusted her dress, and tidied her hair before leaving Xu's home with the others. After the banquet, Xu Jichang increasingly missed Sixth Sister. He wanted to admire the silk scarf he had taken in a private place but couldn't find it despite searching everywhere. He suspected he might have left it on the way when sending the guests off, so he went back with a lantern to search the steps and the courtyard but still found nothing. Xu Jichang felt frustrated and unsure of what to do. When Xiao Qi asked him about it, he was nonchalant. Xiao Qi smiled and said, "Don't lie, the scarf was already taken by someone else. Searching further is pointless." Xu Jichang was surprised and confessed to Xiao Qi that he was very fond of Sixth Sister. Xiao Qi replied, "You don't have a destiny with her. Your relationship ends here." Xu Jichang inquired about the reason, and Xiao Qi explained. In her past life, she was a courtesan in a back alley, while you were a scholar. When you met her in that life, you fell in love with her. However, your parents did not approve and interfered, causing your wish to remain unfulfilled. As a result, you became distressed and ill. When you were on the brink of death, you asked someone to tell her, "I do not have long to live. As long as you come and allow me to touch your skin, I will die without regrets." Sixth Sister was moved by your deep affection and agreed to your request. However, she had some matters to attend to and couldn't come immediately. By the time she arrived the next day, you had already died. This is the connection between her past life and yours. So even in this life, you can only reach the level of touching her skin, and nothing beyond that is what she desires. Later, Xiao Qi held another banquet for her female friends, but Sixth Sister did not attend again. Xu Jichang suspected Xiao Qi was jealous of Sixth Sister and harbored some resentment towards her. One day, Xiao Qi suddenly said to Xu Jichang, "You have been blaming me for the matter with Sixth Sister, but it's not my fault that she didn't come. We have been together for 8 years now, and we are about to part ways. I will do my best to help you resolve your past confusion. Although Sixth Sister doesn't come, does that mean we can't go to see her? Today, you should go to her home and try to get close to her. Perhaps destiny can be changed by human effort. It might not be a bad idea." Xu Jichang was delighted and accepted the suggestion. Xiao Qi then took Xu Jichang's hand, and in an instant, they arrived back at Zhao's home. The place was still the same, with its yellow-tiled roof and high gates, and the courtyard was as intricate as before. Xu Jichang was warmly greeted by his father-in-law and mother-in-law, who said, "Our daughter has long been well cared for by you. We are old and frail and have not been able to visit you. We hope you do not hold this against us." They then arranged a banquet in Xu Jichang's honor. Xiao Qi casually inquired about the other sisters, and the mother replied, "They have all gone home, except for sixth sister, who is still here." Afterward, the elderly couple asked a maid to fetch sixth sister, but she did not come out for a long time. Xiao Qi went in and pulled her out. Sixth sister had her head lowered, spoke little, and was not as lively or witty as before. Soon after, old man Xiao and his wife took their leave. Xiao Qi said to sixth sister, "Sister, you should maintain your dignity, but some people might still blame me for this." Sixth sister smiled and replied, "A frivolous person is not worth getting close to." Xiao Qi then swapped the nearly empty wine cups of sixth sister and Xu Jichang, insisting that they drink up, and added, "Since you are already intimate, why bother with pretense?" After a while, Xiao Qi slipped away, leaving only sixth sister and Xu Jichang in the room. Xu Jichang abruptly stood up, trying to get closer to sixth sister, who gently resisted. Xu Jichang then grasped sixth sister's skirt, knelt on the floor, and pleaded. Sixth sister's attitude gradually softened, and she led him into the inner room. Just as they were about to undress, they suddenly heard shouting and the sounds of horses outside, with a blaze of fire illuminating the room. Alarmed, sixth sister pushed Xu Jichang away and said, "Disaster is upon us. What should we do?" Panicked, Xu Jichang was at a loss, and by then, sixth sister had vanished without a trace. Xu Jichang sat disconsolate for a while, and suddenly, the house and the surroundings disappeared. He saw a group of hunters with eagles on their arms and knives in their hands approaching him, asking, "Who are you? Why are you hiding here at night?" Xu Jichang pretended to be lost and told them his name. One of the hunters asked, "We were just chasing a fox. Did you see it?" Xu Jichang replied, "No, I did not see it." He then realized he was back at the Yu family cemetery. Disheartened, Xu Jichang returned home, still hoping that Xiao Qi would come back. From then on, he would use the calls of magpies in the morning to divine the future and watch the lantern flames at night for signs, hoping to hear from Xiao Qi, but she never appeared again. This story was told to me by Dong Yuxin. Alright. That's all for today's ghostly tale, Xiao Qi. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please also encourage everyone to comment and share more. We'll see you in the next episode.